Hello, today we are going to share on the solemnity of Saints Peter and Paul. This is Peter, this is Paul. Peter would concentrate on Hebrews, and Paul would concentrate on spreading the gospel to Gentiles. And together we will talk about mission, the mission of the church to all peoples. And here Jesus gave the key to heaven to Peter and said, whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. We will see this later on. We'll go through the readings, but we will read from the second part. Solemnity of Saints Peter and Paul, Acts of the Apostles. In those days, King Herod laid hands upon some members of the church to harm them. He had James, the brother of John, killed by the sword, and when he saw that this was pleasing to the Jews, he proceeded to arrest Peter also. It was a feast of unleavened bread. He had him, that means Herod had Peter taken into custody and put in prison under the guard of 4 guards, of 4 soldiers each. 4 squads. Each squad would have 4 soldiers. So all totally would be 16 soldiers. 16 soldiers guarding Peter. He intended to bring him before the people after Passover. Peter thus was being kept in prison, but prayer by the church was fervently being made to God on his behalf. Suddenly the angel of the Lord stood by Peter, and a light shone in the cell. He tapped Peter on the side and awakened him, saying, "Get up quickly." The chains fell from his wrists. The angel said to him, "Put on your belt and your sandals." He did so. That means Peter did so. Then he said to him, the angel said to Peter, "Put on your cloak and follow me." So he followed him out. That means Peter followed the angel out, not realizing that what was happening through the angel was real. So he was thinking, is this real? And he thought he was seeing a vision. It's a dream or a vision. They passed the first guard, then the second guard, and came to the iron gate leading out to the city, which opened for them by itself. They emerged and made their way down an alley, and suddenly the angel left him. So the angel took him out of the prison and then disappeared. Then Peter recovered his senses and said, "Now I know for certain that the Lord sent his angel and rescued me from the hand of Herod and from all that the Jewish people had been expecting." And now that was the first reading. And here now Timothy, in 2 Timothy, written by Paul for the community. And Paul said, "I, Paul, am already being poured out like a libation, and the time of my departure is at hand." He felt he was going to die soon after doing a lot of work. I have competed well. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. From now on the crown of righteousness awaits me, which the Lord, the just judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but to all who have longed for his appearance. The Lord stood by me and gave me, this is Paul still speaking, St. Paul still speaking. The Lord stood by me and gave me strength, so that through me the proclamation might be completed and all the Gentiles might hear it. So it's proclamation to the Gentiles. And I was rescued from the lion's mouth. The Lord will rescue me from every evil threat and will bring me safe to his heavenly kingdom. To him be glory forever and ever. So Paul shared this with his community. And now we come to the Gospel of Matthew. And Jesus, here is Jesus. Jesus said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter, I skipped this. When Jesus went into the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" They replied, "Some say John the Baptist, others Elijah, others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets." Then Jesus said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter said in reply, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus said to Peter in reply, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my heavenly Father." So Jesus told Peter that he could say this because God the Father had revealed this to him. "And so I say to you, you are Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church." The meaning of Peter is rock. "And the gates of the netherworld shall not prevail against it. I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven." So here, Jesus basically made Peter the first pope of the church. Okay, now we shared the encyclical of Pope Francis, and I searched for mission or missionary, but finally I came to conversion. Conversion would be converting towards God, converting to the gospel, converting to our environment, and that means considering the environment. St. John, here Pope Francis was speaking about St. John Paul II, and he said St. John Paul II became increasingly concerned about this issue. In his first encyclical, he warned that human beings frequently seem to see no other meaning in their natural environment than what serves for immediate use and consumption. Subsequently, he would call for a global ecological conversion. And here, this is very important. St. John Paul II, he said, human beings frequently see no other meaning in their natural environment than what serves for immediate use, my immediate needs, and I will satisfy my immediate needs by immediate use, and then and for consumption. And this would be narrowing down to using, just making use of the environment, not caring for the environment, not considering to care for the environment, but how to use it, and only use it for my own needs. Subsequently, he would call for a global Pope, St. John Paul II, called for global ecological conversion. That means we have to look at the whole world, the ecology of the whole world, and care for it, and turn towards caring for the global ecology, global environment. So conversion is turned to caring for and following. At the same time, he noted that little effort had been made to safeguard the moral conditions for an authentic human ecology. The ecology should be a human ecology. That means linked and having relationship, a mutual relationship, and caring. We continue on section 5 of Pope Francis' encyclical. The destruction, but here he continues to speak about St. Paul, John Paul II, his encyclical. The destruction of the human environment is extremely serious, not only because God has entrusted the world to us men and women, but because human life is itself a gift. That means we must consider that human life and all that it entails is a gift from God, and we should be thankful and caring. The gift which must be defended from various forms of debasement. That means debasing human life, debasing the environment, the world. Every effort to protect and improve our world entails profound changes in lifestyles, model of production and consumption, and the established structures of power which today govern societies. So the problems would be our lifestyles, we have to change that, our way of production and consumption, and the established structures of power which govern societies. So we have to deal and change these things. Authentic human development has a moral character. We must remember that human development has a moral character. It presumes full respect for human person, but it must also be concerned for the world around us. Respect for the human person and respect and care for the world around us. And take into account the nature of each being and of its mutual connection in an ordered system. So in the whole system, we must look at the mutual connection of each being. Accordingly, Our human ability to transform reality must proceed in line with God's original gift of all that is. All that God has created is a gift from God to us, and we must do it in line with God's gift. Now, so we have to. Perhaps you could not follow very clearly, but you can read over that again, and it's very important, and it's also central to our caring for ourselves, caring for the environment, and following God's gift and grace. Now we come to Pope Leo XIV. He appointed Michael Pham as the new Bishop of San Diego in the United States, and Bishop Pham, Michael Pham, led faith leaders to accompany immigrants attending the court. Why would he do that? Because very often people who had to go to court, they were afraid. They were afraid of being arrested and things like that. So they accompanied them to the court. Bishop Pham's appointment as Bishop of San Diego is a significant milestone. Why? Because of just what we mentioned. In the Catholic Church's history in the U.S., a significant milestone. His appointment to this role reflects the Church's recognition of the contributions of immigrant communities. So here Pope Leo XIV was considering justice for the immigrants in America. And he appointed Bishop Pham to be bishop to take care of the immigrants. And Bishop Pham did it. His appointment to this role reflects the Church's recognition of the contributions of immigrant communities and the importance of diverse leadership. That means a Vietnamese becoming a bishop. Bishop Michael Pham led a delegation of faith leaders on Friday, 20th of June, to accompany immigrants attending court hearing at this place. He called on and after the court session, outside the court, Bishop Pham called on the federal government to treat migrants with kindness, compassion, dignity, and respect. So here, Bishop Pham was stressing the attitude of the government towards migrants and to treat them with kindness, compassion, dignity, and respect. So here we see that this is a special thing, and it's a milestone for the Church in the States. So we have to, the government, the American government, must be just to migrants. Okay? So we have to be caring for the environment and caring for one another, no matter who we are or who they are, but to care for one another. And we must stress mutual relationship with others, with the environment, etc. Okay? So God bless.